Welcome back to Dear Amber. Today on Dear Amber, we hear about beautiful girls in China. And a local Chinese friend will educate us about a cool Chinese tradition. And we're going to find out what an ayi can do for you. Chris writes, Dear Amber, what is stereotypically considered beautiful to Chinese people? So, Clay, I've invited you back because I know that you are the expert on everything women and beautiful, right?
Am I the resident expert? That's because everyone else has a girlfriend or married.
Well, I know you like to check out women, so you must be an expert. So, Clay, maybe most people think, beauty transcends all borders. But actually, I have noticed that the Chinese sort of value different things in looks than we do.
Differences in regards to what they think is beautiful and what at least I think is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, the supreme example is like, one of the biggest Chinese movie stars in Hollywood is Zhang Ziyi, right?
Yeah, of course.
And I mean, we all think she's really beautiful, really
She's
pretty.
okay.
But anyways, most Westerners think that she's really beautiful. But Chinese people, when you ask them, every single Chinese person I've asked will say the same thing. Ibanban. They just think she's really sort of plain and normal.
That's what I think, too.
Do you? Oh, I think she's really pretty.
Really?
Oh, well, maybe you've been Asian-ified because you've been here so long. Your yellow fever has
worn off?
stricken you.
Has it worn off or stricken me? Which one is it? I'm still trying to figure that out. Biggest thing for me, without a doubt, is the skin color. Like let's say on my end, we prefer girls that are somewhat tan or... and the Chinese are the exact opposite. They rather like the completely white, shiny white skin look.
That's true. In Taiwan, I knew a girl. She would do like 5 whitening face masks a day.
Yeah.
She had told me she had never been in the sun like her whole life.
Well, you go to before I lived.
She looked like a ghost.
When I lived in Hainan, like the Hawaii of China, you would go if you went to the beach, like noon, 1, 2, 3, or 4 o'clock. No one's there.
Wow.
But around 5:36, when the sun's coming down, people go to the beach. It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
They don't want to get tan skin.
Yeah, and I know another big phobia about the sun that a lot of Chinese girls have is they don't want to get moles or birthmark or beauty spot,
Yeah,
they think
bizarre.
that's like if you have a dot on your skin, it's like the end of the world.
And I remember trying to buy suntan lotion in China or in Hainan, and all the SPF was like 80, and it was actually whitening 80 SPF.
You go in the sun to whiten.
It was crazy.
It's like maybe sun-activated bleach or something.
It was nuts.
Yeah, and all the cosmetics, which I think probably in the West, most of us know, we've seen that.
Welcome back to another installment of Chinese Pod Trivia. And the question for you is, for what test does Chinese Pod offer preparation services for? Is it A, the polygraph, B, the colonoscopy, C, the HSK test, or D, the CAT scan?
The CAT scan?
Ooh, sorry, that is incorrect. The correct answer is C, the HSK test. That's right, Chinese Pod will thoroughly prepare you to pass this rigorous test of proficiency in Chinese. ChinesePod.com/HSK.
A lot of the cosmetics here are actually, you can't even really buy any cosmetics that aren't whitening here. Like, we don't want that.
So it's
as
definitely harder
Westerners,
being
but
a girl than a guy.
Yeah.
I just have to buy sun cream every once in a while.
Yeah, so I don't really buy like creams and stuff here.
This is a conversation that comes up all the time because the male men, they're like, no way, you like tan skin? Like, are you crazy? And what we determined was it's because in China back in the day, having tan skin meant you were basically worked in farms and you were a farmer, basically. So all the aristocrats had white colored skin because they would just stay indoors and drink wine and grapes all day.
Yeah, which, I mean, that sounds pretty appealing as well. But it's funny because Chinese girls, when they get a tan, I love the color of their skin.
And
I try and encourage my friends, tan.
And I think, and maybe just because we're in Shanghai, you're starting to see tanning beds. The gym that we both go to has a tanning bed. Now, I'd actually be curious to see if anyone's
maybe we should go use it.
Maybe the first in like all year.
Maybe it's like the cleanest tanning bed in the world. Okay, so another thing comes down to is like facial features. I mean, that's a huge part of what you consider beautiful. It brings to mind like a friend of mine. We were sitting in the subway and there's a billboard and there's a girl in the model in the picture, and I think she looks a little bit like an alien. And at that moment, I was thinking that my friend said, that girl in the billboard, that she is like the ideal of what Chinese consider beautiful.
The alien look?
Yeah, because the thing is that her eyes were abnormally huge for her face. But
really?
That brings to mind what the Asians like. It's the eyes are a big thing.
Big foreheads like aliens?
Yes, that's another thing actually.
No
but first
way.
the eye. Okay, first of all, they like
kidding.
first they like a round eye, right? And another huge thing is the 双眼皮, which means the double eyelid.
Okay, now this is something I've heard of, but I've never really picked up on it before. I'll have to be looking for it now, but I've heard one, that they can get surgery for this, but two, I don't think I've ever even noticed it before. Maybe I have subconsciously. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. So here's the thing: a lot of Asians' eyes, they don't really have the eyelid showing. It's sort of deep set.
Okay,
right?
so what do you have? Do you have a double?
We both have double. I've never met a Westerner who doesn't have a double. That's why we don't even think about it, right?
So weird.
And I never notice it.
I never think about that.
But if you'll notice now, once you look for it, you'll notice a lot of girls have had the surgery done to add the eyelid. And how you can tell is there's a line, a sort of scar. When they blink, you'll see it in the sort of like crevice of their eye.
I've never noticed.
Yeah, well, if you look now, you'll notice it. A lot of girls get it done. So the double eyelid, I think, is a huge thing.
And they pay for this.
Yeah. And you know what another thing is? If you don't get the surgery, well, once I got this, I was on this like Taiwanese magazine, and so they did my makeup, and I have the double eyelid, but they actually stuck a sticker on your eyelid, and a lot of girls do this as well, and it kind of like pulls your skin to make your eyelid look bigger. So a lot of girls, you'll see you'll see a sticker. It's like a skin color sticker that they put on their eyelid in order to enhance their eyelid.
Sticker?
It
like
is.
An obvious sticker.
I promise you. It's the shape of an eyelid, and maybe it looks a little bit alienish.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah, we gotta start looking more closely, Clay. See if it's a man-made beauty or a real beauty. Okay, the other thing is the shape of the face. In this model in the billboard, she had a very heart-shaped face. Like you said, a wide forehead and also very tiny, pointy chin.
See, I would say for a Westerner, that's almost too specific. I think if you asked a Westerner what kind of face they like, I think all of them would be like,
but that's like the classic kind of beauty. Okay, and the other thing they love, which is really different, I think, from Westerners, is a small mouth. Like a mouth, like a little rosebud.
Do we like small mouths? I don't even know.
I don't know. Well, look at Angelina Jolie. I mean, she's got a huge mouth. But yeah, they like small little lips and a small mouth. They think that's really feminine. And a huge one, come on, Clay, as a Westerner, like the nose. People are always telling us, your nose is so tall.
Big. I always get big.
Okay,
it's so big.
I get tall.
Maybe mine's bigger,
yeah,
yours is taller.
But they do love the fact that we have a bridge on our nose. Like a lot of Chinese people are flat there.
Really? See, I always thought they were saying, "Oh, your nose is so big," as in it's disgusting and huge.
I think they like it.
Really?
Well, especially for girls, they like the look of a tall nose. It means the nose is sort of
a third opinion on that.
Okay, and then another thing that I found really shocking was I had an English student in Taiwan, and she had the most beautiful cheekbones. Like Westerners, we like cheekbones, right? I mean, that's pretty attractive,
right? I guess we can appreciate some cheekbones.
Yeah, it's like gives a nice shape to the face. Well, she told me, I always admired her cheekbones, and she told me that she was going to get plastic surgery done to shave off her cheekbones.
Really?
I'm like, are you crazy? It's beautiful. And she said no, and like traditional Chinese thinking, she said that means that you're a very headstrong woman when you have cheekbones like that. And so she was worried that was why she couldn't get married.
Some guy like, nah, too headstrong.
Yeah, those cheekbones,
I will not be able to boss you around.
Exactly.
Cowboy boots with knee-high stockings.
Yes. We've had an argument about that one.
Amber is not a fan, but I think John Passon was a fan as well.
Yeah, well, it's definitely
the eye of the beholder.
Oh, brother. Thanks, Clay. And for more takes on Chinese beauty and every other kind of beauty, we have a very special lesson series on ChinesePod.com called The Beauty Pageant, which is pretty fun to listen to. It's an intermediate lesson, so don't forget to check it out on ChinesePod.com. The next question comes from Daryl. Daryl asks, I noticed that Chinese people stick a sign on their door with an upside-down character on it. Can you tell me why Chinese people do this? So today on Dear Amber, we're going to ask a Chinese expert. This is Venus.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, Venus she's going to tell us. First of all, Venus, I've seen it too. Almost every door outside right now has this Chinese character sign on it. A poster, kind of. What character is on there, Venus?
It's Fu.
Fu? So which Fu is this? What does it mean?
It means happiness.
Oh, so it's the character for happiness.
Yes.
Well, that's kind of nice. Now, the funny thing is that the character is actually upside down.
Yes.
Yeah, and it seems so strange to us. Why would the happiness be upside down? Well, first of all, before we get into that, Venus, is this something that Chinese people do at certain times of the year, or they like to have that up there all the time? Because I've noticed lately there's new ones up.
In China, people always stick the character Fu to their door of their houses in Spring Festival every year.
Okay, good. So Spring Festival is, in Chinese you say 春节, right?
Yes, 春节.
Yeah, and that actually is what a lot of Westerners know as Chinese New Year. It's also called the Spring Festival. Yeah, so it's a time of year where Chinese people like to bring happiness and good luck to their family, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so this Fu sign has got something to do with that, doesn't it? So it means happiness. Now, why is it upside down, Venus?
Because in China, there are many characters have the same pronunciation but different handwritings and meanings in Chinese. Because there is one character Dao, which means upside down.
Okay, so Dao means something is upside down or inverted.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the word Dao can also mean to arrive.
Okay, so Dao can mean upside down, but it can also mean to arrive.
Yes.
So what does that have to do with the happiness? Oh, now I'm starting to see the connection. The Fu is upside down. So do they want the happiness to arrive at their house? Is that why?
Yes, 幸福到来.
Oh, so they say 幸福到来.
Yeah.
So because the Fu is 倒过来, can you say
Yes.
that?
The same pronunciation, Dao.
Then they say that the happiness will arrive at our door.
Yeah.
That's so cool, Venus. I'm so glad you told us.
About the convention, I will share you a story, an interesting story on the comment.
Oh, okay. So there's a story how this tradition came about.
Yes.
Okay. So Venus is going to post the story for us on the Dear Amber comments. Excellent. Thank you for sharing it with us, Venus. This question comes from Rash. Rash asks, Dear Amber, what on earth is an ai, and why are they called ai, and what all can an ai do for you? Now, John has been in China a long time. John, you've had many ais, haven't you?
Yeah, a couple.
I mean, like an ai, some people think it's just a maid, but I think an ai is so much more than a maid, don't you think?
It's kind of a personal relationship.
Yeah, I mean, like she can be your substitute mother. She can be your
language partner.
Your language partner, your
who
personal
just gives
assistant.
and gives and never takes.
She can be like your child's educator, many things, right?
Hey guys, it's Michael here at Chinese Pod, and we want to say thank you to all of our faithful subscribers. If you're not registered yet, head over to ChinesePod.com now and get 20% off.
We got promo codes. Save your money. Promo code. Learn Chinese. Register now at ChinesePod.com.
Use promo code GET20 at checkout to get 20% off your first year.
Well, first of all, what does ai mean? Why do people call it ai? Call her ai?
Well, ai means aunt.
Mm-hmm, in Chinese.
Right, in Chinese. But it can also be just a lady of your mother's generation, like an older lady. And then it can also be extended to mean like a lady of your mother's generation who comes over to clean, who may actually be younger than your mother.
It's a very versatile word.
Yeah, it's kind of
well, I know our ai
extended quite a bit.
Well, I know our ai at work. She's really cute. She has a wig that looks like Shirley Temple. I'll never forget the day when she sported that new wig. Oh man, that was the best day.
I thought it was just a new hairstyle.
I know, it was very cute. But she always tells us it's a wig. So John, what does your ai do for you?
My ai now? Let's see. I used to have an ai that cooked, but my current ai doesn't cook. She cleans, she sweeps and she mops and she dusts stuff. She cleans the bathroom. She washes the clothes.
So typical housework stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
So anything else like besides that? Like, my friend told me her ai goes to the market for her. Like, did your ai buy groceries?
Yeah, I used to have an ai that would cook, so she would actually go to the store and buy the groceries for us. And then I've also had my ai go and pay bills.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So your ai, what would you do? Like, give her the money, or do you reimburse her? Like, can you trust the ai with the money? I mean, maybe if you know them.
This is kind of tricky. It's really totally a personal relationship. So I had this ai before where she would cook for me and I'd give her money and she would get groceries. But the cost of groceries just like kept going up and up. And I would have like a meal with just like a little bit of qing cai, vegetables and a little bit of meat, and it's like 20 RMB. No way.
People in a restaurant, it would probably cost 6 RMB for that. No, maybe 10.
Yeah, seriously, that's really cheap stuff.
Yeah.
And she's telling me it costs 20 RMB.
Uh-oh.
And it wasn't an isolated incident. And I don't really, want to confront the woman. I don't have any proof. So it's kind of
let her go.
Oh.
But my new IE is so awesome. I trust her. Like, she has her key, give her hundreds of RMB to pay bills. And
so there's some IEs you gotta just know who your IE is.
well, it's a personal relationship. So once you build that trust, then you don't worry about it.
That's right. It becomes like an extended member of the family. Now, some people have live-in IEs, right? But how is your like sort of like by the hour come in a couple times a week and help you?
She's not by the hour anymore. When I first get an IE, I usually hire by the hour. You get an idea, this is the kind of person that
will overcharge
you can
me
build this IE relationship with. Yeah. And then if she is, then you move over to like paying her monthly.
Oh.
And just as long as she gets the work done, you don't really worry about how much time she spends, right?
Cool. So when your when your IE started, like, did you have to train her, or like was she totally like knew what to do?
There might be a few cultural differences, like some might not, like, for example, use a different cloth to wipe the kitchen counter that they do to wipe the floor.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's
now,
scary.
as a bachelor, I really wouldn't care that much.
You probably didn't think about it either.
She got rid of the roaches and stuff. That's cool, right? But like, I'm married now. My wife isn't cool with that.
Yeah.
So
she's on top of the dishcloths.
Yeah, and like the laundry, you want to make sure she's not washing your whites and your reds together.
Yeah, actually, I noticed that's something that's a big difference, that the IE will just throw everything in colors and whites. So you might have to like kind of
get
the IE
a lot
trained.
of people in China are still not used to using washing machines
Yeah.
either. So if you have one and you want her to use it, you probably do, because she'll get work done faster, right? Mm-hmm. Then you need to make sure she understands about how to use it.
Yeah, and another thing I think I find is that sometimes maybe you might have to like focus like the IE on what you want cleaned, right? Because like often when I'd watch the IE, but she'd be wiping things at like the top of the wall or something that like maybe you need to wash once a year, but like maybe the high frequency areas, maybe you have to like remind them which parts to concentrate on too.
Yeah, well, like my IE is awesome, but I've tried out IEs before that are working by the hour, and they're just like wiping every single thing they can, because like, wiping is the way to like waste time or something.
I know, it's true. It's that little sort of light wipe time killer. Okay, good. So what about communication problems, Don? Like, I mean, the IEs often come from the White D, right? Like, they're not from Shanghai, so maybe they all have different accents, right?
Yeah.
Is that hard for people, or are people going to have a hard time communicating with their IEs? I mean, the IEs don't speak English, for sure.
Well, my IE is from Dongbei. So she speaks pretty good Mandarin. It's kind of colorful. Kind of funny sometimes because I'm not used to it. But it's pretty good Mandarin. Although I do have a friend, and his IE is from, I don't know, like the wildlands of Jiangsu province or something.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of respect for my friend for just being able to understand what she says, because, like, wow, it's amazing. I went to his place, and his IE cooked dinner for us.
Yeah.
And he was talking to her, and he talks to her in Mandarin, but she talks back in like this other language.
It's not Mandarin.
So like the lady would go to him, she'd be like, and I'd be like,
that sounds like
what?
Russian.
And he'd be like, 对我的朋友吃饭. Like, like, it's just a totally different dialect. And he understands it. I don't get it.
Well, that's cool. Well, actually, I even know someone who hired an IE for cleaning, but she also got the IE to talk to her baby, and her baby started to learn Chinese from the IE. But I was thinking, wouldn't that be funny if your baby would have like an Anhui province accent when he grew up?
It happens. I've heard of this
Cool.
happening.
That'd be pretty cool. So there's also some issues about IEs too, that some people think it's kind of like slave labor. Like, maybe you're exploiting people by having this maid. Like, because at home we don't really think about, having a
I
maid.
wouldn't be able to afford.
Yeah, maybe
this
that's
kind
why.
of home.
So, John, what do you think about that? Like, do you think it's a good thing, this IE employment, or sort of bad thing for them?
Well, first of all, let me just say that this whole hiring IEs to help with housework was not invented by the white man.
Really?
Or by, foreigners or whatever. Locals do it too.
So it's not just like an expat thing, like sort of exploiting the locals.
I don't think it's exploiting at all.
No.
I mean, these people, they come to Shanghai for a better life, and they're looking for work. And like the going rate maybe is like Shanghai people might be able to find an IE for 6 RMB an hour. And
Hello, friends. This is Sarah Chung, a content creator for Chinese Pod. Each week, we find new topics relevant to you and send them to your mobile device. Currently, we have over 4,000 lessons on the app covering a variety of topics. A huge thank you to all of our subscribers who make this amazing journey possible for all. If you are not a subscriber and you would like to try us out with no obligation, go to ChinesePod.com and start your free 30-day trial. You have nothing to lose and so much to gain, so sign up now.
Maybe I'm willing to give 8 RMB an hour because I don't want to just scrape the bottom of the barrel, find the absolute cheapest help I can find. And so by American standards, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah,
like
how much is
an hour.
That? $1?
Well, a little more than $1 an hour.
Hey,
right?
I pay 10 to my IE. I'm getting ripped off.
Well, I definitely give my IE raises.
That's cool.
But I just think it's kind of ridiculous to call it exploitation because...
It's called job creation. Exploitation.
if you're going to be paying them the same rate as you are in the United States, then to everyone in China, you're just being stupid.
Yeah. So when in Rome, hey, IEs are great, and actually, I think the IEs like cleaning for us too because our houses are pretty clean to begin with. They probably have a not too hard of a job.
Yeah, I think there are some impressions among some IEs that working for a foreigner is a cushy job.
Yeah, maybe because I kind of tidy up before my IE gets there. That's how neurotic I am.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah.
But I'm not a total pig either.
Yeah. And we know that after this Dear Amber episode, all of you are going to want to run out and hire an IE because now you know all the things an IE can do to make your life better. So don't forget to check out on ChinesePod.com. We have an intermediate lesson called Interviewing an IE, which will help you get all these matters straight with your IE before you hire her. Okay, John, thanks so much for telling us about your IE. Okay, so this week's word of the week, in case any of you are considering getting double eyelid surgery, I brought Connie to tell us. Connie, how do you say in Chinese, get eyelid surgery?
割双眼皮.
Wow, so 割, what does 割 mean?
从中间 cut 大了.
So cut down the middle, that's what 割 means.
对.
Wow, that's funny. Connie, 你做过吗?
我没有.
Of course not. You don't need to. You're so pretty.
我可以去做.
No, you don't need to. Please don't. Thanks, Connie. That's it for this week's Dear Amber, the insider's guide to everything China. Don't forget to send any questions you have to dearamber@praxislanguage.com. And please go to the comments section of Dear Amber found in the extras tab at ChinesePod.com and leave your comments about what we talked about today. Look forward to hearing from you, and we'll see you next time. 下一次见.